And ladies, if you think that I am delusional, go read some of my comments on some of my content. Most men will even say a simple gesture as a hug, a hand on the leg, a kiss. Like literally, women are cutting them off 100%. I mean, they're not even touching their husbands anymore. And then y'all wonder why he ends up cheating.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and today we are taking a look at modern women proving why men don't want to date them. Let's jump into it.
One of the most dumb-ass rhetorics I hear from dudes when it comes to dating is how many of them think that women use them for free meals when it comes to dates. Sorry, like, do y'all genuinely think we are on some poverty line that, like, I can't pay for dinner? I go to these dinners on my own. My friends and I go to these dinners. The same spots you're taking me to, I am going to on my own multiple times a week. What makes you think I need a free dinner from you?
Need has nothing to do with it. A lot of modern women demand that men pay for their dinners to prove that they are providers. They say that real men pay for dates and nothing less will suffice. They've literally admitted this on camera for the last 15 plus years.
It's just like, it's so obviously a cop-out. That's not the reason. That's not the reason you don't want to take women out on dates. It's because you're broke and don't have the facilities to take women on dates, and that's a different story. But don't try and blame it on us. Don't try and make it seem like it's our fault and that we're just using you guys. Nobody's using, like, come on. Who wants to spend 1+ hours with somebody that they don't like and that they don't find, like, interesting to talk to for a free meal? Like, why would I go out with somebody that I'm not potentially interested in, spend over an hour and a half with them at a restaurant I go to without them on a regular basis? Like nobody needs your bum ass free meal, man. Just admit you can't afford it and go. Maybe you're projecting that because you want the free meal. This isn't the 1800s anymore. Like, women can actually afford women can afford things because we have our own jobs. It's just such a slap in the face that you guys think we can't afford this dinner and we need you to pay for it.
It's not that men are broke. Men are tired of being used, not to mention constantly insulted. And the only reason that men are getting insulted is because these women are getting bent out of shape for being called out. They said it. We are just reminding them.
There's going to be nothing like the female loneliness epidemic that you're going to see with this generation of women when they hit the 40s. It's going to be out of control.
Many years from now, there is going to be a quiet crisis, loneliness in women especially. Not because women failed, not because they weren't capable or intelligent, but because they were handed a script or a blueprint that left out the consequences. Be self-sufficient, put your career first, you don't need a man. So they followed it. They pushed love down the line. They delayed the family. They treated commitment like something that could always wait until it didn't.
This is not a quiet crisis. There is nothing quiet about it. Modern women go into the front seats of their cars and keep crying that they can't find a man, can't get a date, and cry as they ask, where are the good men at? At this point, it's only going to get louder.
Fast forward a few years later. You're older, no partner, no children, no legacy, just some noise to fill that silence.
There's going to be nothing like the female loneliness epidemic that you're going to see with this generation of women when they hit the 40s. It's going to be out of control. When these 20-somethings hit 40-something, there's going to be massive devastation. There's going to be, the pharmaceutical companies are going to be like, yeah, cashing in on the antidepressants and all of that if they go that route.
It's already happening right now. If you take a look at the numbers of modern women on some kind of antipsychotic medication, the numbers are far too damn high. A lot of modern women are miserable, they're lonely, and they can't understand that their behavior is what brought them to this point.
Women nowadays love to say that their husband is controlling. Meanwhile, it's just direction. It's the protection that you wanted. If your husband is telling you, you know what, I'm not a fan of that friend, I feel like she is a bad influence on you, that outfit draws unwanted attention that I'm not comfortable with, or you following that person or engaging with someone on social media makes me uncomfortable. I'm gonna tell you what, if I had a strong, healthy, masculine man leading me and he told me something made him uncomfortable, he didn't like it, okay, bye, done.
It's crazy how modern women claim they want a masculine man to lead them, but what she wants is to be able to control the man, and when she realizes that's impossible, she blames the man by saying he's controlling, insecure, or abusive. They don't want trust, they just want domination over the other person.
No questions even asked. I'm about to flip a reverse Uno card on you women. right now, because guess what? I wouldn't put my husband in that position. And that's the conversation that women are not ready to have. Instead, these women are clapping their jaws to their mom, their sister, their girlfriends. And I know in your mind you might think, oh, I want to be a wife, I want to be married, all these things. But if you have to keep another man's attention, another woman's approval, the internet's validation, honey, you are not ready for a marriage. So that is your husband covering you. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. So if that offends you, I mean, just go ahead and call a spade a spade. Just say you would rather have freedom instead of a marriage.
The funny thing is, modern women demanded freedom. They wanted their own money, their own careers, and to forge their own destiny and be strong and independent, and they do practically nothing with it. They make some money, then they cry on the internet because they don't want to keep working. So what good was the freedom?
Are you guys equal or not? 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't want
alimony
equality.
makes sense if the woman was a stay-at-home mother and doesn't have a source of income. How else would she take care of the kids following a divorce?
By getting a job just like the men.
If a wife ends her marriage for an illegitimate reason like happiness, then she doesn't have the right to alimony. Her ex-husband should be under no obligation to fund her lifestyle even when he's not in her life anymore. It really is that simple.
I sat my dad down and told him just like, hey, I think I might want to walk myself down the aisle just so I can have that moment to myself. And also just, this is how I feel about this topic. And he was like, okay. I thought he might be like a little bit upset. Like, I mean, of course that's understandable.
You raise your daughter thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, that's fine. And I was like, okay.
He's
And he's
nice
like,
guy.
yeah, my dad's
He's a nice guy.
It was so cute. He's the best.
I've seen a couple videos like this. And the big problem with this is that you hear the other people say it, right? Oh, he's such a nice guy for doing that. Because everybody knows, and everyone in that comment section talks about how that dude is probably heartbroken.
Imagine spending your entire life protecting your daughter, trying to raise her right and being her protector, and the second she gets married, she throws that back in his face because she wants the wedding moment to be about herself. That's just a slap in the face to the father.
Of course he wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle, but they commend him for being such a nice guy and continuing to sacrifice everything that he wants to make his wife, his daughters, and everyone else happy while he's slowly dying inside. And that's the type of guy that feminists and society want. A guy that bends to their will. Guy that lets you walk all over him. Guys that won't stand up for what's right. They promote these attributes as things that men should aspire to have. In reality, it's those exact attributes that are causing our nation to have the highest unaliving rates that we've ever had, as well as the highest divorce rates we have ever had.
Some people would argue that it's not that big of a deal if she wants to walk herself down the aisle, but the problem is how she's completely disregarding his feelings simply because she wants a wedding moment. That's incredibly hurtful, even if that wasn't her intention.
It is the nature of women to be controlling over their husbands. It's actually in the Bible where it says that the woman will have a desire to rule over her husband. So, ladies, if we've been warned, we need to heed that warning. And that doesn't mean that you don't have a voice. It doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion. We hold women and men in equal value. One is not superior to the other. But if this is literally a known weakness for us, and we as women are aiming to be better wives, then when we are frustrated by something, bothered by something, we first need to have an internal processing moment to ask ourselves, is this really important enough that I need to comment or address it with my husband?
Modern marriages are built on this idea that husbands are somehow lazy but also domineering at the same time. So anytime he opens his mouth, it's seen as some kind of an offensive notion. It leads to that woman breaking down her husband and then blaming him when the divorce is ultimately filed by her.
Or is this something where I can bless and release it, and I can recognize that my husband's number one goal is a happy, healthy, safe home? Because sometimes as women, we want to be controlling about how they drive, or we want to be controlling about how they parent, or a certain way that they handle a project around the home. We think that our opinion, our way is going to be better, and so we insert it. But what happens is your husband feels emasculated. Your husband feels like you don't actually trust his ability or his character in handling something.
If a modern wife hears this, she's going to be deeply offended because the mere idea of trusting her husband to make decisions is something that infuriates her to an obscene degree. In her eyes, she's always right and her husband is always wrong.
He thinks you don't trust or know that his number one goal and desire in life is to keep his family safe. And when he starts to feel that way, he's going to become frustrated and defensive because he's thinking, oh my gosh, do you really not know me at all? So we, ladies, we have to check ourselves. We need to check our motives before we are addressing things that we maybe don't love about how our husbands are handling something. And I will tell you right now, you can change the game in your relationship when you trust more and criticize less.
The problem is modern wives feel like they have something to prove. They have to not only be in charge of everything, but then complain about how they are in charge of everything. They make their husbands work even harder while they find excuses to provide even less.
Okay, so there are a decent number of profiles like this. Okay, 31, female, based in the US, event coordinator, average looking in my opinion, and wearing heavy makeup with false lashes in all of her photos, including the casual ones. Here are some excerpts of her profile. I would like someone who is physically my type, attractive, fit, full head of hair, 5'11" or above, at least an 8 or 9 out of 10. Looks matter to me. He must be educated and have a stable job well into 6 figures.
If a woman is going to a matchmaker to set them up on dates, what they don't realize is that they have already lost and the matchmaker is not a genie. She can't just magically conjure up the men they think they deserve.
Someone who is emotionally intelligent and a high-value man who understands the worth of a woman in a relationship. I won't tolerate anyone who does not know how to treat someone like a lady. I have high standards and I'm not interested in anyone who is trying to lower my standards. Now, this person is rejected because I don't think that the person that she wants will want her back. I mean, I've already seen profiles like this, and she doesn't meet their requirements. But what's very interesting to me is this discourse about trying to lower my standards. I've actually seen that sentiment a bunch of times in my comment section.
At this point, it's impossible for modern women to lower their standards. Even if they did, it wouldn't matter. If the man they end up with isn't up to the standards that she wants, she'll resent the man anyway.
And I don't actually know what that means. I think it's a very weird thing to say. Like, what do you mean other people are trying to lower your standards? Nobody cares what your standards are, and nobody cares even more to try and lower them. This is a free market, so you can have all of the standards that you want. You can ask for a billionaire if you want, but people also have to choose you. Now, as a matchmaker, I can factually tell you that based on what you're looking for, those people who do meet your requirements, whether or not they would want you back or not. So at some point, especially for someone in my position, it's simply about reality. And what I would say to this person is, hold on to your standards, hold on to them tight, and find yourself someone.
That's what's going to keep modern women single. They assume that because they exist that men are just going to want them, but it has never actually worked that way. A man who has options isn't going to go for a woman who needs a matchmaker to find a date.
30, 50, 55. These are college girls. Oh my chlamydia.
Average body count on campus? 30. 30? Actually?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't that high?
You think that's high?
You don't think that's high?
No. 55.
55?
Yeah.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No.
That's a lot.
Santa Barbara has to be freaking high. I could take a guess. I'd probably say like 50.
50?
How could you possibly equate with love? If you're banging everybody in college, 50 guys plus, how are you equating sex with love? You're not in love with 50 plus guys, honey. This is disgusting. Ooh, this is why, by the way, some of these women transition with ease into the OnlyFans because they're basically doing it already.
It has nothing to do with love, it's about fun. That and your average college-aged woman has this absurd notion that more bodies equals more experience, and after a while it becomes a game to see who can sleep with the most amount of men. It is ridiculous.
Ladies, if the energy in your relationship is bad, it is on you. I know so many women will be like, but my man this, but my man that. Watch what happens if you counter a man's crankiness with calmness. I can't wait for you to see what happens when you counter it with joy. You are in charge of the energetic state. Assume your power, girl. You need to stop being the mirror of your man's emotions. By managing your own emotions and not so desperately trying to control his and not letting his affect you. Assume your energetic sovereignty and watch the world realign itself to you, including that man of yours.
Modern women grew up being told that controlling their emotions was some form of systemic oppression. Combine that with never being told no, and you have a woman who will fly off the handle when it comes to anything, really.
You know what's the biggest difference between men in their 20s and 30s? Men in their 20s are so confident. They walk up to women, they chat them up so smooth, they want companion. Men in their 30s see a beautiful woman, they're like, I wonder what type of crazy monster lives inside her.
Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. And the men who are 40 and up are even worse because we know what time it is. But the fact is, when you're a man in your 20s, you're just stupid. You don't know no better. You're out there shooting at targets like you're playing duck hunt. You really don't care too much about a personality. I mean, you care, but it's not that important because you're looking at those boobies and those buns.
Modern women want a man who's got the salary of a successful man in his 40s, the looks of a man in his 30s, and the naivety of a man in his 20s. It's something that is pretty much impossible to create. Men learn from their past. Modern women deny theirs even exist.
And in most situations, you're going to probably talk to whoever is willing to talk to you. And this is why cougars get so much play from the young dudes, those 20-year-olds. You hear them online all the time saying it, and in a lot of situations, these same women are not getting that same treatment from men in their age group. And that's because men in their age group know what it is. We know that woman probably has more issues than Sports Illustrated, so we're a little more careful. But the young dudes don't care because she has buns and boobies. So he don't care. So he's gonna roll up on her, trying to holler at her, and the cougars over here thinking that there's something special. You're not that special. The girls in the 20s are not willing to give him any. So he just switched his target to the women who are willing to give it to him, which in a lot of situations, those are the cougars. But what it really boils down to, when you're in your 20s, you're just young and dumb. I've been there and I've done that. But as you get older, you start realizing these women come with way more than what's between their legs. I'm just saying.
The messed up part is when a cougar hits on a young man, it's seen as empowering, but if an older man gets into a mutually consensual relationship with a younger woman, all of a sudden that man is an unspeakable monster who just wants to manipulate and hurt young girls.
He married you for monogamy, not celibacy. If you haven't taken your man to Pound Town, if you are no longer engaging in bedroom activities or creating that intimacy that a man thrives on, I'm telling you, that man is probably most likely shut down if he's no longer asking you for it. And the reason why a man will shut down after he's asked you for it a few times is because your excuses are always the same. I have a stomach ache. My head hurts. I'm too tired. The kids wore me out today. If you're constantly giving him an excuse, he's going to disconnect.
There are far too many modern wives who have no problem weaponizing the bedroom against their husbands for petty reasons, and if a wife is willing to do that to her husband, then it's clear that she doesn't want him, and no husband deserves to feel that way.
And ladies, if you think that I am delusional, go read some of my comments on some of my content. Most men will even say a simple gesture as a hug, a hand on the leg, a kiss. Like, literally, women are cutting them off 100%. I mean, they're not even touching their husbands anymore. Y'all, and then y'all wonder why he ends up cheating, or he ends up subscribing to an OF, or he ends up on sites. Because you drove him there. He didn't want other women. He chose you. He continued to choose you until you no longer made it an option. You made yourself no longer an option on the table, and you live in the same home. He doesn't want a glorified roommate. He wants a lover. Do better.
The sad part is, whenever a husband wants intimacy, he's looked at as if he's a pig, but the second he's not in the mood, his wife will immediately hold that against him for months. It is insane. Make sure you click on one of the videos on screen now to watch more if you liked today's video. Don't forget to take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.